Hello and welcome to the Steam Release Podcast. I'm your host, Dewey Bear, and our wonderful co-host. Uh,
Hey,
Darn it, I did not think of all the adjectives, but Roadypie is here. Beyond
it's lovely to
words,
be
I
here.
cannot describe. So,
Well, thank you for having me back on again. I guess I didn't make too much of a hash of it the other two times, so I hope I'm improving even more. But you never know. You never know.
oh my. Well, I'm very glad to have you back. And let me see. I guess yeah, for the next couple weeks, Rody will be our co-host. So I'm really excited.
Yes. Yeah, me
So
me too. Me too.
especially for
It's
Halloween.
yeah. Oh my god, I love that. But I think it's very difficult to find people that enjoy the same sort of games as you and that you can geek out about. But it's like, yeah, I feel like we can geek out about totally random games. I love it.
Yes, it's very fun. It's very, very fun. What have you been playing this week?
I'll let you go first on
Oh, let
this
me go
one
for it.
because
Okay.
yeah.
Well, so this week I finished Bastion, which is kind of it's an ARPG, action RPG with that's very story. It's a single narrator, so it's basically from the view of one of the NPCs, and he's narrating the entire time. It's just kind of weird, like honky tonk Western accent, and it bothered me initially,
Mm.
but after about an hour or two, it grew on me, and by the end of it, I like loved his voice, like absolutely loved it. It was just a little strange because it didn't feel like it fit the setting, because the setting is
Oh, I see.
not Western at all.
Mm.
um, like not
Uh,
Old
s-
West.
so that was the first game I ever bought on Steam.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I it annoyed me because when you actually went to hit something, it sometimes moved to another
Mm,
direction and you have to like keep pointing and in the same so I found the controls a little annoying.
mm.
But I loved the narrator. I thought it was like this sort of very sort of smooth, sort of but deep voice, kind of Barry White kind
Yeah.
of deep voice, but with a different accent. It's amazing. It's amazing.
And he's basically constantly talking, so it basically got to the point
Mm.
where as I was just kind of soothed and I was streaming and just not saying a thing, it's like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be saying things. Because he's just like talking on, telling me the story, and I'm just like sitting there listening. And it's like, oh, that's right, I've been streaming for the last 2 hours. So, um,
That's awesome.
it's a great story. There's multiple endings. I don't know if I'll go through the game plus, the new game plus. I am kind of tempted because I did enjoy it, and I do kind of want to finish it. But at the same time, I'm like, you know what? I want to put this on my completed list. Maybe I'll make a
Yeah.
subcategory for games that I've completed, but there's still like new game plus to do. Maybe I'll put
Yeah.
that
Oh,
in.
yeah. No, that'd be a good idea, definitely. I need to do that, I think, with some of my games.
Yeah, so that way I can go back to them and maybe tackle them again.
Mm.
But for now, like the ending, I will say the ending, not spoiler, but the ending is very satisfactory. So if you're
Mm.
curious, like whether it's one of those games that's gonna really give you that nice ending, or like whether you're gonna feel like it was all worth it, it was all worth it. It was really good game. A bit formulaic, at least in the plot advancement, but the
Mm.
ending is very good, very very good.
Oh,
And besides that, Final Fantasy 14 still in its clutches.
mm.
Uh, and I played some Overwatch. The new Halloween event is pretty cool. Some great skins.
Okay.
So that's my normie game, I guess.
Mm. Okay.
Yep, and that's
Uh,
basically my week. How about you,
oh.
Rody?
So this week we started Fran Bow for my streaming, my spoopy streaming, and that's point and click game, and it has very disturbing imagery, but we laughed all the way through. The problem, and it has like overwhelming positive reviews on Steam, but when you get past a certain point, it keeps throwing in mini games. And I really dislike that about point and click games because it changes up the mechanics and
Mm.
you're like, No, what I was doing before was fine. I don't need this mini game because I just feel like it pads it out, and yeah, it's just really annoying. So there was like a sliding tile game, and there was which is awful. Sliding tile puzzle games are horrible.
Hmm.
And there was also a Frogger mini game, and these are not skippable. These are not skippable. You have to do them. So it's like, ah, so annoying.
It kind of
Um,
shows sort of a lack of confidence of their core gameplay loop too. Like
yeah.
they're like, "Oh, our core people are going to be getting bored at this point. We got to do something new." And it's like it just kind of shows that they had a lack of confidence.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And the first part of the game was absolutely brilliant. I was loving it and loving the aesthetic, loving the creepiness and the disturbing images, and they were just fantastic. And the imagination that went into it, I thought, this is great. But then they had this, and it just completely ruined it. Um, and I, you know, pop in occasionally on Final Fantasy 14, but I gave Maple Story 2 a good go,
Oh
when it went
yes.
free. Yeah, and I'm a bit disappointed with the crafting, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
You can only do like it only allows you to do a certain amount of gathering a day, a certain amount of crafting a day, and what you craft you can't sell. It's like binding. What you
Oh,
gather
that's
is
kind of
sort of
sucks.
binding as well. So, yeah, and I don't know. I don't know, like, how you're supposed to make money on that because, there's, like you go around the world and you can buy real estate, but it's something like 36 million or something like that. I'm thinking, how on earth are you supposed to get that sort of money if if you don't craft things and be able to sell it? But yeah, I've been playing obviously doing questing as well, and I don't know, I always feel like it's a little bit disjointed because it's like, "Oh, you gotta go here," and suddenly you're magically transported there while you're in the narratives going on, and it's just like, "Wait, where are we? What where is this place?" I don't even explain where you are or anything. It's yeah,
I'm in
it's a
the
bit weird.
tutorial of Maple Story.
Mm,
And one thing that's driving me insane is it uses Maple Story controls, which I hated. I
yeah.
rebounded them all, but I'm still
Mm,
like trying to wrestle with the UI to make it feel a bit more like an MMO, like an MMO
yeah.
UI and stuff. And I'm just like, no, the formula was fine. Why did you have to change it?
No, I totally
Oh,
agree there. Totally agree because they said they still haven't quite fixed the mousey keyboard thing, and it's just like, why not? Why
yeah.
not? Why haven't you got it as a normal MMO does? It just makes no sense.
It's okay on controller, but even with controller, in order to do anything, you have to be holding either the right trigger or the left trigger. It's like,
Yeah.
why can't I bind things to stuff without holding triggers?
Yeah, yeah, it's so
So
weird. Oh,
it is very
Akio has
strange.
joined us. Hi, Akio. Lovely to see you. Um, Crafting Going sounds like old Story. Yeah, this is it. It's like if you are going to do like a brand new game to get a new like demographic and everything, um, just mix your you should like mix it up. You should like do something that's relatable, I suppose, to what people are used to.
Yeah.
And it also makes me wonder, like, because it's a free to play game, have they implemented it like that, that you can't sell things, so you actually buy things from their store with real money? That's what I'm
I'm not
wondering.
entirely sure. I do know, so the Maple Story control scheme, they're kind of basing it off of the original Maple Story control scheme, so they're catering towards their Maple Story players. But when it comes to
Mm,
like other MMO gamers like me, like I play a ton of different MMOs, whenever like
mm.
the control scheme is weird, I'm just like, this is frustrating me.
I
Um,
don't mean like the control scheme. I mean like free to
oh yeah,
play
the
game.
crafting,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
well, free to play as in because you're not buying things with the in-game money that you have to buy maybe gear or maybe what other people have crafted. In fact, what you are doing is buying things with real money from their store
Oh yeah.
because it is a free to play game.
They do. So I do know people who are extremely like critical of free to play schemes who do very
Mm,
much like MapleStory 2 at the moment.
right.
But I don't know too much about it. I do know that the MapleStory 2 store, like, you can actually make assets for it and
Yes,
have it go on the
yes,
store, which
yes.
I think is really cool. I think it's
Yeah, I
like
like that.
how you're a braver company than most, like just letting people submit things.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely, yeah.
but so it's got a lot of like interesting features, but I'll have to give it another college try to and get deeper into it to really have an
Oh,
informed
yeah.
opinion.
Yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. Shall we jump into our 10 picks of the week?
We really should, yes. So,
Yes,
to the
yes.
release list, our first game from Monday, October the 8th, is called Merchant. And if you're like opening it up in Steam in your window, you kind of have to like type in Merchant and then search and then like find it because there's so many games with the word Merchant in the title. And this is not the top result. But
No.
we, of course, have the royalty free music um, in the video. But this is originally a mobile game, as you can tell with its vertical UI. It's actually reading through the reviews and even looking at the reviews in the App Store. People are really impressed with its fairly fair monetization. It's not going to pester you for money. There's some deal, and they only sell DLC, um, which I think is pretty impressive for a mobile game. It's free. It's a full, complete game and you can play all the way up to the point where like you have to buy DLC to continue. But up until that point, it's 100% free, and I think that's a pretty cool scheme. You're basically playing as a merchant in a fantasy setting, and that's kind of neat. There's a lot of games that have kind of done that, especially in recent years. There's a lot of games who've kind of done like play as an NPC in an RPG.
So, I've actually played this. I
Really?
I played this. I think it came out a couple of years ago on the mobile. So, so what you do, you're a merchant. You buy a mercenary, and you go and tell the mercenaries to go and collect items for you. So then you can either craft into well, you usually craft into something else, or you can sell the raw material itself. And of course, when you craft things, you equip your mercenaries, and they get better. They can move on to more difficult areas. Um, it and you get better rewards. And then you craft better things, you sell them in your shop, you get more money, you can get more mercenaries. Um, it's it's really enjoyable. I played this for quite a while, but it's so and yet it's so simplistic. There isn't really any animation. You just I think when you go to fight something, it kind of's got this sort of Pokemon kind of look, but so there's no there's no real animation going on there, and you kind of like just let your I don't think you control the mercenaries; they just do what they do, So it's quite fun, and it's quite fun to sort of like organize all your items and then just fight and sort out your teams like that. But if you're more into having a little more control over your mercenaries, then I don't think this game is for you. But I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with it.
This is kind of the sort of second screen gaming.
Mm,
From what I kind of see, it's just like you're doing something else, and then you have like this little second screen that you're doing stuff on.
mm.
But I'm a systems gamer, so when I get that's why I play MMOs. It's for systems to make satisfactory. It's like like doing things efficiently, and I'm just looking at this like,
Yeah.
oh, this game looks great. So
But Buffoon Batman says, I feel bad whenever I see something that looks like a great game that is simply not the right genre for me. Anyways, I feel like this is a dungeon crawler, which I love, but the party is auto combat, which probably oversimplified. Yes, absolutely right. It is kind of oversimplified. But yeah, so it's more geared to making sure you have the right equipment on your people, making sure they get healed up, and making sure that you still are making profits from equipping them, healing them up, and then sending them out. So and I think it costs money it costs money whenever you make something as well. So it's more you're looking at it more on the merchant side than the mercenary side. So yeah.
it is also well, it's free, so you've got nothing to
Mm.
lose checking it out, which is nice.
Absolutely,
Uh,
absolutely.
Looking at the reviews, a lot of people are very impressed with this port. They're pretty happy with it. I was reading through all the reviews, and for the most part, it's like, yeah, I played this on mobile, and this is also great on PC. It works fine, so I'm glad to hear that. A lot of mobile ports can be really janky.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think these guys are working on a also like a 3D version of it with animation and everything. So
Let's see,
maybe
Victoria Games. Okay, they only have Merchant up, but
yeah, so maybe they're using using the profits from this port version to help fund their 3D version. We'll see. We'll see.
yeah. Uh, it looks, and also the pixel art is really really well done. I'm very glad about that. And you can predictably run this on a toaster. So, yeah,
Yeah,
just
give it. I mean, it's not going to be on my. Oops, excuse me if you can hear the police outside. That's going by, not outside my house, but going by. No, this is it's not going to be on my wish list because I already have it on my mobile, and I feel like I've played it played it enough. I think by the end, like after you've done maybe 2 or 3 maps or maybe 4 maps or something, it's like it starts feeling a bit repetitive. So I think yeah, it there's no kind of story to it.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Oh, welcome, Totally Tabby. I'm glad you are here.
Yay! Yay!
Uh,
Tabby's here. Yay! Hello, hello.
well,
Batsman is here, so you can jab him if you like, Tabby.
I would be putting this game into my library right now, but I'm trying to keep my library small. But I will put it on my wish list.
Mm.
Because it looks fun. It looks like I'll probably like check it out just as a side, a side game.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure.
And that completes Monday. So we have a few games on Tuesday, October 9th, starting with a really cool indie game that caught my eye called Overclocked. Oh my gosh, which one is it? There we go.
This is another tricky name as well. Because there's quite a few with a similar name, so yeah.
I definitely like the music. It's pretty catchy. Oh, this is another one that sells their official soundtrack separately, Justin. If you're interested.
I so yeah, when I first saw this, when I saw the animation of the I don't know, the title, I suppose, I thought, oh, that's quite interesting. But then I saw the gameplay and the sort of when they're talking, I don't know, the story bit. I suppose like that looks a bit like the visual novel aspects of it.
Yeah.
I thought I didn't like the character design at all, because that sort of artwork, it kind of makes it look very 2D, very flat, but not just 2D, but super flat. It looks like it's
Hmm.
made in like MS Paint or something.
I think it probably was made in MS Paint.
Oh god. But this is it. It's got the shading and everything like that, but it looks I don't know, to me it looks terrible, and it's missing that kind of polish. Um However, yeah, and she looks like she's got this sort of like square neck or something on some of it. So yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it looks like this would definitely appeal to someone who's sort of like those real hardcore sort of platformers, and um just want something to give them a challenge, and is not really too bothered about the way it looks. I mean, I mean, a lot of the comments are saying, "Oh, it's very responsive. The UI is very responsive. I don't have any, which I thought would be kind of normal if you're doing those kind of games. You know what I mean? It's like,
You'd be surprised.
yeah, and this is it. We've gotten to that point where actually having something that works how it should be is a surprise,
Hmm.
which is a shame. But yeah,
Yeah.
I uh I would recommend this for anyone who is maybe sort of like in really likes these kind of games, but I think this is missing a lot of polish myself.
Yeah, if you're looking for a platformer with some combat elements, kind of like a Metroid or a Robo. Let's see. Oh my gosh, I completely forgot that genre. Mega Man, yes, or sort of a Mega Man type thing. This may be it. That said, they clearly didn't have an art budget very much, so it's very much looks like it was made in paint. But you know what? For a game that looks like it was made in paint, it still has a decent aesthetic. The art execution isn't necessarily great, but the aesthetic is fairly nice.
Yeah, at
Yeah.
least it's all like comes together. It's not like you think, oh, that kind of doesn't belong there or something. It is like all cohesive. So
Yeah. So one kudos, they did what they did what they had with it, and but yeah, the closer you look at it, the less appealing the art. It's one of the things. Is like when you're playing, just don't focus too much on the art.
yeah. It looks very fast paced, and you can't really.
Hmm.
You're only paying attention to not getting killed, I suppose. So, yeah, I think some people would um, definitely have fun with this for sure.
Oh my word! This actually is free. Oh, and the soundtrack is sold. Oh, interesting.
Well, yeah, and this is it. I think some things on here are it's good to have um things like this on Steam, and it's like, oh, we're putting it out for free. Maybe I think this is their first game. Um, at the same time, it's like I can't help feel it's like, is it just like putting more things on Steam and other things are getting lost? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
You know what? I'm definitely gonna give this one a try. The
okay.
platform mechanics look pretty sharp. And it's got the whole like gravity shifting. There's a grappling hook, and the floor is lava. A lot of it where
Mm,
it's and there's also seems to be boss battles, and so I'm like, you know what? You know what? I'm down for this. So I'm not gonna download it yet. It's gonna be on my wish list just as a free game in there.
are you
Um,
still recovering from your platforming trials and tribulations from was it last
yeah,
month?
yeah, kinda. But I'm
Yeah,
definitely like, I don't know, there's something about this game that I really think there's something here. So,
yeah,
I definitely want to check it out. And if anything, I definitely want to keep an eye on Magnesia Ninja, the developer. Uh,
yeah. Especially if next time they have an art budget, I'll be very
Hmm.
interested to see what they come up with.
Yep.
A lot of people saying that the story of this is quite interesting. Although it cuts off too soon, they feel like they could have gone a bit further with it. Um, so yeah, I'm hoping their next game that it's more polished and it brings every element to how they want it, basically how it should be and
Yeah.
how it should look.
I do appreciate the degree of integrity they have in that they're giving it away for free because they
Yeah,
clearly know that they're trying to build
like
a
a portfolio,
following. They're
really.
trying to build a
Yeah.
portfolio, a following. So it definitely makes me interested in what they're going to make next.
Mm.
Uh, and you know, at the meantime, they're also kind of just dropping that, like, hey, you can also, if you really do believe in us and you want to financially support us, you can buy the soundtrack. So
Yeah,
that's,
no,
you know
that
what,
I think
I
that's
appreciate it.
yeah, that's good. Yeah, because we do complain about um a lot of developers putting like their first time game on there and it doesn't look like
And then
it
charging
doesn't look so
$10
great.
for it, and I'm just like,
Yeah. Yeah.
no.
So
Um,
yeah.
This one's definitely like if you're looking through like, oh, free to play games, which is usually flooded with a bunch of MMOs or something like that, or gotcha games. Hey,
Mm.
here's like a fully complete game in the free to play section. So
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Oh, official Slaughterrotic is on. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I'm glad to see you. It says Rhodey looks like pure sunshine today. Thank you. I
she's
try. I try.
it's yes, very sunny. Really awesome. I at first I thought was like, is it like a honeybee theme or something? But it looks really cool. Mark of the Ninja.
Oh,
So
thank you so
there is a remastered
much.
version of Mark of the Ninja. Ooh, it's edgy because I have to put in my age.
Oh. Do you want to reveal that to everybody?
But yeah, so yep, Mark of the Ninja remastered. I imagine if you like Mark of the Ninja, you probably are interested in Mark of the Ninja remastered. Uh, it's got very positive reviews. I, for one, am not much of a stealth player, but I did have an opportunity to play the original Mark of the Ninja. I didn't complete it because it was on someone else's console, but I will say, for a stealth game, I quite enjoyed it. As someone who dislikes stealth games, so I don't know if that makes my opinion more or less valid, but it was quite fun.
Well, I'm not really a stealth game player either. They just really stress me out.
Mm-hmm.
But
So stressful.
so yeah, so stressful. But I'm glad this looks like a very well done remaster.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So I think if someone wants to play this on the modern system now, yeah, this is looks done very, very well.
Yep. Kind of cool neo-modern, kind of neo, like futuristic setting, but with it's a ninja game, so it's got this kind of cool,
Yeah,
cool contrast.
yeah. If you like ninjas and you kind of like futurism as well, then yeah, this is for you.
And
And stealth, if you really like stealth as well,
yeah,
of
and
course.
lucky me, I didn't own the original one, so it's like, oh, cool. So I can just get the remastered version.
Mm.
Let me see. Oh, okay, I was wondering if they like also sold. Oh, so that's cool. If you own Mark of the Ninja, the original, you can simply
Mm.
upgrade to the remastered version for $5. That's
Wow. Oh,
actually really cool of them.
that's a bargain actually, because it's like I don't mind paying a couple of quid to get the sort of like upgrade. That's reasonable, because the
Yeah,
worst thing is like when you've got a game and then it's like, hey, do you want to have like 4K full HD? You're gonna have to pay full price again. But no, that's brilliant. That is very good.
yeah, that's actually really nice of them. I mean, because especially since I feel like most companies would just charge full price again without like
Oh
any
yeah.
sort of discount.
Oh,
That's
absolutely.
that's really sweet. I love it when companies make gestures like that. just
Yeah.
to reward loyalty to
Oh,
their brand,
absolutely.
and
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Um, and apparently, for some people, they got like remastered for free. That was probably an early. Uh, yeah, that was probably a deal for some time because a lot of these people are talking about how they got it for free because they bought the original game. But yep.
Okay.
Uh,
See,
yeah.
mainly positivity, a few negative reviews, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
It's
it's
looking like it's about a 20-hour game at the upper limit.
right. Oh, that's good.
So yeah.
Yay.
So yeah,
So
definitely not a genre that either of us are really into, but
no.
it looks cool. I'm let me see. If I was going to play a stealth game, it would be this.
Mm. Yeah,
But I'm still probably
definitely.
not going to put it on my wish list.
It's like I can, would if someone says, "Oh, I'm kind of looking for a stealth ninja game," I say, "Oh, this one came out." So yeah, it's something I would recommend to people, although it wouldn't be something I would play myself. So yeah.
Man, so Clay Entertainment makes a lot of games, and they're all kind of games that I know are good, but don't
Mm.
interest me at all. Like,
Yeah, no, I
Don't
see that.
Starve, I know Don't Starve is great, but it's not my
Yeah,
kind of game. Oxygen
same,
Not
same.
Included, again, I know it's a good game, but it's not my type of game. So it's just,
Yeah,
yeah, so Clay Entertainment, they're a well-known developer. They do a pretty good job, but they just never make games that are kind of aimed towards me.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
mm.
Mm. What you got up for us next?
Yes. What I got for us next is
Mm.
My Memory of Us. Oh, and then actually, I don't have to struggle to find it. That's nice. Okay, we
Yay.
can mute you. Okay, there we go. Uh,
Over
Oh
many
yeah,
years, I've learned that life can be like a
there we
fairy
go.
tale.
all right,
And
Rody,
things can
you
happen
really
on
recommended
very
this one, right?
ordinary days.
Yes, yes. It looked. I really like the art style of it, and it seemed a bit
We
different
had
as
such
well. Like was
brilliant
worth
times
looking at. So
together.
this is by a Polish developer, and
We played
it's
and laughed
basically
and
about
ate together.
the occupation of
I
Poland
had
during the Second
no
World War,
idea what lay
and
just
although
around the
it's
corner.
told by the perspective of
Robot
children,
soldiers,
and of course they
unyielding,
don't
vicious,
have no
completely
idea what's going
emotionless.
on,
They went about their
have absolutely
mindless
no idea what's
tasks.
going on. This is
Everything was changing for the
about
worse, and it was all
their
down
friendship,
to the
and
Robot King.
he's
People
just
stared
like,
at the red
oh, but
thing.
my friend
They
is just,
started
my
treating
friend
them
is just my
differently.
friend. I don't understand why her and her family have to
I
go
looked at
away.
my friend,
And it's
she
something
was
that,
no different to the girl I knew she'd
if
always been.
they're going
But
through
she
that,
was scared.
I'm going to be
Whatever
with
her
them. I'm going to
fate
be with
was,
them every step of
I
the
wanted
way.
to
And
share
the developers, they have personal stories of like their grandfathers or something. Like one of them, their grandfathers was put in a concentration camp because they were putting negative pictures of the negative posters about the Nazis, and they got taken away to concentration camps, so he never got to meet his grandfather. So yeah, it's obviously touches them personally, and but it's done in such a beautiful way. So through the perspective of children, you don't realize what kind of danger they're really in, but you as the player know. So I think it's light-hearted. I think it's kind of like while you're playing it, it'd be more sort of like light-hearted, yet you, the player, kind of know like what's happening. You know the way it looks. It's kind of, you're seeing it from their perspective, so it looks more beautiful than it actually is. Yeah.
Yeah, they do a lot of like very interesting symbolism too with the art. So,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, this one looks like it's a tearjerker too.
Yeah.
Uh,
Absolutely.
but yeah, it's kind of a touching and subtle game. I don't know if it's actually a game that I would necessarily recommend to kids, but it probably does approach it in a bit more delicate a matter than a more maturely aired game would. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's yeah, I don't yeah, it's not aimed at kids, but it's the characters in the game. It's from their perspective of being children. But I don't think it's I don't think it's like the gameplay doesn't look like super sad. You just got to, you know,
mhm.
you're doing like different obstacles. They're robots instead of Nazi soldiers. So it's like, it's different, and yet yourself, you know what the symbolism is there, instead of it being like showing horrific things. You don't see the horrific
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
for people who aren't like as so it gives like a really, it definitely has the two narrations where it's like, people who really are more in tune, or maybe even like have family that experienced it, would probably have a bit more of an emotional response to a lot of the sort of symbolisms, like, oh, I know exactly what this is, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah,
exactly what they're
absolutely.
referencing. Well, someone who's like maybe not as in tune with it would probably be like, "Oh, that's very pretty. That's very interesting." And so
Mm,
it's really cool. I like it when games kind of tell a story that
yeah.
where you get two different experiences depending on who's viewing it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
that's very neat. It looks to be about uh, I imagine depending on how fast people played it, anywhere between 2 and 8 hours.
Okay.
It isn't localized in a lot of languages. I'm seeing a ton of Chinese reviews,
Wow.
Chinese and Korean reviews.
Well,
Uh,
that's great.
but yeah, that's Let me see. The developer Juggler Games, have they done anything else? Oh, it's 100% positive right now. Nope, this is their first game on Steam.
E10 for ages 10.
The game is also on Switch. Uh, yeah, and of course they sell the soundtrack if you want that, Justin. That's gonna be such an ongoing joke. Um, Yep.
I noticed the price. I'm not sure that I would get it at full
18?
price.
Yeah, $18?
Um,
Hmm.
Although what they've done, it's they're making something from the heart and everything, and it does look very well polished, and I love the design of it, the aesthetic. I'm not sure I feel right dropping that amount of money onto
Yeah.
it, considering what other games are out there. However, I will be putting it on my wish list and seeing, if the price drops.
Yeah, in this case, you're buying a story and not so much a game. I mean, there probably is fairly decent gameplay in here, but it's definitely like,
Yeah,
um,
it's a bit like Two Brothers
yeah,
sort of thing. So you switch between um the older girl or the younger boy, and they have different skill sets where you can sort of make your way through um the war-torn city of Poland. So you've got to utilize their skills. You're holding each other's hand, and you've got to, like, you switch who goes first, depending on what skills are needed. So, and then there's all these other puzzles that you have, like sort of mini games. So yeah, it is like proper gameplay, but um there's still a heavy story element to it.
and continuing that theme of sort of somewhat melancholic games, we have The Last Train. Uh, this came out on Wednesday, October 10th. Uh, it's essentially set in an alternate universe where the Japanese and the Germans won World War II. And there's a train, the last train out of the coastal cities, moving people towards the heartland that hasn't been invaded, or hasn't been war torn, etc. So I'm not entirely sure in the details of the storyline, and it seems to be kind of like a sort of Papers, Please game where you sort of have to decide who
Yeah.
you're taking and who you're not, because
Yeah.
it's the last train. So
Yeah, it's it looks very interesting to me. It's like that sort of finalized sort of decision on who you've got to take, who you're going to leave behind. You know, how's that going to affect the story of it? And it yeah, it just looked fascinating. So I'm curious as to like a bit about the gameplay and also the story for sure.
Yep. Let me see. As far as like, I see. It's most of the games we've been talking about today actually can run on toasters. So if you don't have a gaming PC so far, this has been your week.
Mm. Oh, this is funded on through Indiegogo as well.
Oh,
So
it is.
that's always interesting.
Uh,
Whenever a crowdfunding game goes up.
It seems to be about a 2 hour long game. That was one thing that kind of makes me a little bit skeptical about putting money on it, because most of the reviews seem to only be about 2 hours. One of them was like 3 hours, but it seems to be a pretty small game. And as the asking price being like $12.75, I'm like,
what? That's a ripoff. Sorry.
Yeah, I would definitely put money on My Memory of Us long before this one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. If it you know, there seems to be a few negative reviews. Maybe I think for this one you definitely wait to see if there's like more reviews come in, or if they're going to update the game or patch it or whatever, then that might be interesting. But it seems interesting that you have to ransack other towns as well to like continue and survive, basically. So it looks like you have to feed your passengers, get fuel, maybe do repairs. So it'd be interesting. I think if that's the gameplay, definitely interesting.
I do find it interesting. They seem to have multiple different art styles as well, which so they use kind of like almost like a paper cutout art style for the towns, but then they also have this sort of it's like the Doom guy pixel art, but it's not pixel art. For their faces. It's hard to describe, but they've got like
I
people with the big jowls and just kind of like just very miserable looking people, which of course it's thematically people aren't exactly thrilled.
Well, Indoor says war-torn and post-apocalyptic has been the pattern in the little bit I've been here. We did have some other games beforehand, so sorry, Indoor, but yeah, I mean we got other themes coming up. Don't you worry.
Oh yes, plenty of other themes. But I certainly, if you're looking for something a bit brighter and cheerier, that is down the road eventually. But not exactly our next game. Thursday, October 11th, we have The Missing.
So yeah, The Last Train I will...
Oh, The Last
I'm not
Train,
going to put it on my wish list, but I'm going to keep an eye on it to see what people say. And then I might pick it because I do like playing some streams with having my audience pick what we're going to do.
That's pretty good. So this is The Missing. Let me see, what's the full title? The Missing, JJ and the Island of Memories.
Where are you?
So this is sort of a horror point and click, I think.
Not quite. It's almost a bit like a platform. It's a bit like Limbo, so it's not a point and click. It is a sort of a puzzler Limbo type game. And this I pointed it in your direction because this is a sweary game, and he does really weird stuff. Really weird stuff, and it's wonderful. So if you like that sort of everything looks kind of normal and yet it starts to get weird, gradually get weird, like sort of Twin Peak. He's really into Twin Peaks.
Mhm.
So you got that normal of you've got that level of normality, and then things start cracking through. Weird things start cracking through. This is it. What you have to do. So instead of like you have to like die in this game.
Yeah.
You have to keep dying, and little parts of your body, like limbs, fall off and everything, and then you use those limbs to help you to get through the platform, pretty much. So like maybe you have to throw your arm, maybe you have to throw a leg, maybe you have to like there's like a sort of like a seesaw puzzle, and you don't want the seesaw to go down, so you have to put sort of like the bottom part of your limbs at the other end of the plank to balance it, so you can then drag your half of your torso through through the small hatch. So yeah, it's very strange, and when you are left with only your head, you're very vulnerable, because then you only got 1 hit point then, sort of thing. So if you get hit, then you die and you have to go back to a checkpoint. But yeah, it's very interesting.
Yep. Yeah, so it's like the body horror version of Limbo.
Pretty much. And there are like fun things in there as well, like I think you're looking for, you're trying to rescue your friend or something, or get back to your friend, and you've got a mobile phone and all these funny, you're having funny teenage girl conversations on your mobile phone and stuff while this is all going on. So yeah, there's some weird humor as well. But I'm surprised this game for me is sort of like came out of nowhere, because right now he's working on another game and he's currently researching it. He's been actually in the UK researching this other game he's working on, so I thought like all energy was going into that. So yeah, it's very strange.
So nothing is how it seems. That's very interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, if you like something a bit weird and you like that sort of mechanics like Limbo, this is the one for you. And I think also if you're looking for more action-packed sort of like spooky games, creepy games, yeah, I think this is for you as well, if you want to do that on your stream.
I do kind of find this is one case where like it actually works with them using the shadow puppet animation. And it actually kind of works. Where it's like they animate and the bones are basically, you just have, it's a 2D animation where it's just like, we're moving this character on. It actually works in this game. So, because oftentimes that sort of shadow puppet animation gets used in places where it's like trying to save money. But here, it works. It works for this game.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's a Wario game, but anime. Excellent review. It looks to be about 9 hours long as far as length. And is this also going to continue on a toaster can run it? Intel Core i7, GTX 1070, if recommended. Oof. Okay, so apparently not a toaster? Well, they have a minimum. Yeah, they have minimum settings. Okay, the minimum settings are a bit more reasonable, but still, it's like, I don't know if you're just BSing or if it's because it definitely doesn't. Well, then there are 3D assets. They do look fairly detailed. Maybe it's not terribly well optimized, but yeah. But it does have very positive reviews. So if you're looking for a body horror version of Limbo,
how much is it? Sorry.
How much is it? It is $30.
Oh, yeah. I remember when I was looking at this, and I thought, wow, it's a bit for what the concept is. It is a little bit much, but maybe he's trying to get the money in because of the current project he's working on.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is a sweary game, so
Indeed. $30. Wow. Okay, so our next game is a little one called Joggernauts.
Yep. Sorry, that. So yeah, that game's not going on my my wish list.
I
But
keep jumping the gun. Yeah, it's not going on my wish list either. I'm just like,
But it's. I'm glad he's got more games out for sure. If if you like D4 and if you like any of his other games, it's interesting which direction he's going in now. So yeah.
The next game is Joggernauts, which is the first kind of like couch co-op game that we have. Yeah, it's a local multiplayer, as well as it looks like they also have online multiplayer. Yes, so this game is called Joggernauts. It exists on a simple gimmick, kind of like My Memory of Us, in that you have to swap who's in front as you're running, except it's a platformer more of the case. So you have to like swap in order to deal with different things based on the color. This might be really difficult for colorblind people. Hopefully they have a colorblind mode, because otherwise that's going to be really irritating. Yeah, so it's a kind of that party game, but it also seems to have a single-player mode where you have to control both characters and remember to switch, etc. And in multiplayer, it's very much like you can screw over your teammates.
That looks interesting. Looks... Yeah.
Oh, jogging. Yes, jogging fronts. This is Joggernauts. Very, very astute observation, Justin. So yeah, it's got a neat kind of quirky alien aesthetic. Very kind of wild, imaginative worlds. I mean, they're running into a fish's mouth here. It's a fun game if you have if you're a type of person who has friends, unlike me.
And me.
This might be a game for you, like a couch co-op game.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's fun if you're able to get some like-minded people together and you have a few beers, a few snacks, and play something like this. Yeah, I think it'd be great. But I'm not the biggest fan of platformers, and yeah, I don't think it's for me. Although I love the art style, I love the concept, and I think it's like a nice. Yeah, it's a nice little party game that you could play for like an hour with friends or something.
Yeah.
How much is it? What's the cold hard cash they're asking for?
It is $12 at the moment. $15 normally. And as far as so apparently there is a story campaign. Oh wow.
Okay.
So there's a single player story campaign. I'm seeing 2.7 hours is the longest review. I mean, it's a multiplayer game, so I'm not entirely sure. Got single player, you jump for 2.
I mean, this is pretty early. I mean, this came out on Thursday, so
people may not have had a time to get their friends together.
Yeah.
But at the very least, it looks like it. If you're cautious, I'd wait. For me, I'm definitely not going to be getting this game because I am not that coordinated.
Nice. Me either.
No, I'm not that coordinated for this high demand swap. That's just not my game.
No.
I like games where I can kind of stop and wait and figure things out.
Yeah, same.
But if this does seem your jam, it at the very least looks like it has some quality put behind it regarding the value that it's actually going to get you $12 worth of game. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I think official Slaughterolic says it's a really good game probably to play when you're really wasted. So I totally agree. If you you got some friends, have a few beers, definitely a fun game if you're into that sort of thing. I don't think me and Chewy are though. Yeah, I like those games where you can sit and think, and it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
It'd probably be good friendship ender too, so.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
It's not going on my wish list because I have no
Mm.
friends and I've not coordinated, so.
No, same,
But it looks like a
same.
good game. It looks like a good game.
Yeah, yeah.
So with a lot of heart and personality, like the robot has some great dialogue in the video and stuff, and
Is it more online co-op, an online multiplayer, or is it
so
only
it
local
says
co-op?
local multiplayer and multiplayer. So let me see. Da-da-da-da-da.
Multiplayer and local multiplayer. Oh, that's good then. That's good because
Yeah,
it's you know,
because generally
as a
when it says multiplayer, that implies online multiplayer. So
yeah,
hopefully,
yeah,
uh,
because it's like, yeah, I if I was to play something like that with friends, it would definitely have to be online. I don't do local co-op.
yeah, and then the
Sorry.
tags are co-op and local co-op. So I'm hoping like I can't see anything that says explicitly that it does have online. Um
Fisher
yeah.
Sauce Erotic says, when my in real life friends and I play Mario Kart, we always start with "Let's ruin our friendships."
That's what those games are for.
So this will be another perfect game for you then. I feel Fisher Sauce Erotic, definitely. And yeah, so yeah, I could. It's not going on my wish list, but I could definitely recommend it to people I know if they're looking for something. Yeah.
Yeah, the art and the fact that it didn't see frame drops in the preview, which I know isn't always like great, but like we're talking about a lot of indie games on Steam right now, and a lot of times they
Yeah.
cannot even hide the FPS drops in the video, and I'm just like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
ugh. So
Yeah.
it looked like it may be a fairly smooth running game. Oh, and requirements requires a 24-bit processor and operating system, so probably can run this on a toaster. So the next game, also the same day. Yes, last game of Thursday. Thursday's usually a much bigger release day, but this week it just wasn't as much. It was kind of more evenly spread out. But there's this game called The Captives: Plot of the Demiurge. This game interested me. It's a dungeon runner. So it's a dungeon runner with a lot of world lore, but it's a dungeon runner when you play through with one character, that character becomes a character that you interact with in the future. And apparently it's got very witty, funny dialogue. That's what, of the reviews they have, a lot of people point that out. So you create a character, you attempt to win, and then you can go back and end up interacting with that character later, and that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool that they sort of build this story off of like the character you made previously.
Oh, that's cool. I have to say, the character designs kind of look like the Mii universe, like Nintendo Mii universe ones. So I was kind of like, okay, I'm not sure about that, but
it's definitely a should we say budgeted art style.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about the map designs either. But so yeah, it wasn't something that stuck out to me personally, but as you explain more about it, it's like, oh yeah, actually no, I could see that being quite an interesting game.
Yeah, this definitely looks like it's probably a 30 frames per second trailer.
Yeah, Akio says, I'm worried about the lack of frame rate in the trailer. It's not looking good.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in this game. I probably will be putting it on my wish list. So it's like $16, but let me see. The reviews have up to 11 hours, so that's close enough for me. But I won't be getting it now, of course, but I'm definitely curious about it. This is very much like, kind of making a character, gearing them up, setting their classes and then like trying and then failing and then trying again with a different build. That's really interested in me.
I would, for people that may be interested in this, I would wait to see what other people have said
Yeah.
more first, and yeah, because it's like how well does it run and everything
Mhm.
like that, and always the first few reviews, you're wondering if like they've maybe, you know, paid someone to say
Oh,
that or
indeed. That is
something.
true. That is always a
Always,
possibility.
yeah.
I do like the system requirements. They don't seem overstated, which is nice.
Mm.
Oh, they do say 8 gig RAM, which might be a little
Mm.
excessive for a game like this. Let me see. It's developed by Prism Game Studios.
Have they
what else
done
have they
anything
done?
else?
They
Yeah.
have. They've done Portal Stories, Mel, and Portal Stories VR. Have I heard of Portal Stories?
Yeah, I feel like I've had
Oh, yes, I
heard of it.
did. Oh, it's a community-made free modification for Portal 2.
Oh, right, I
Based in the
see.
Portal universe. So it's... Oh. They're allowed to do this? I guess they are. Yeah, it's a free Portal
Yeah.
2 mod. How interesting. So they do have a mod out, and I guess this is their first actual, like, independent game. Let me see how... Let me look at their ratings for their mod. They have a 95% positive rating on their mod.
Okay.
So that's not bad with almost 10,000 reviews.
Wow.
But granted, it's free, and in this other one,
Yeah.
they're asking for money. So it definitely alters it a bit. Let me see. Does Captives of the Demiurge, does it have multiplayer? No, it is only single player. Okay. You know what? It's going on my wish list.
Okay. Okay.
I'm interested.
Well, if you play and you get it and you play it, you'll have to let us know how you get on. I think anything that you've you've put on your wish list from these shows, and then you go to play it, you can maybe do like a special one-off stream and tell us how you got on with these games and what your thoughts are, because I would love to know.
I will definitely be bringing them up and reporting back in the future. That's for sure.
Yeah, Dewey reports.
Yes. Yep. Portal Stories. Mel. I am also adding their mod to the. I think I'll end up trying this out because hey,
Cool.
I'm totally down for more Portal gameplay after I finish Portal 2. So let me see. And
So yeah, it isn't a game for me, but I'm interested in how this does and how this gets on. So yeah.
All right, and on to the last day of the week. Well, that had releases. Saturday, nothing came out, but usually nothing really comes out on Saturdays. Friday, October 12th, we have the game Dog Jam, which I have not made head or tails of what this is. So take it away.
So this looks like one of those kind of card games. It's a mix between. It looks like it's sort of a mix between game developer. If you remember that game, which was super popular. Yeah, you're using dogs instead, and it's done in a card game format. So yeah, so so if you liked game dev, but you wanted maybe to play that with the cards and dogs, I think this is the intersection for you to play this game. It just looked super funny for me, and I was thinking it looked interesting. I did like game dev as well, so I probably look into this game a little bit more, and might give this a go. But yeah, it's it looks great. It looks super cool.
I'm glad to have you here then, because like I was looking at this and I wasn't like sure, is this even a game? What is this? Like, because this is a genre I've never encountered before.
Oh, I see.
I was just like, what is this? But I guess it's kind of like I guess it's sort of in that same theme of like, you know, those sort of hacking games where it's like maybe I doubt you have to do like code writing, but there's like these hacking games where like you kind of have to connect things and you have to figure out stuff.
Well, in game dev, what you have to do is you have to you're the game developer, and then it's like you select what genre of game you're going to do, and then you see what skills you're going to put in and everything, and then you just let it run until you've got the game and see how well it does out there. And if you didn't put enough into squashing bugs and everything, then you're going to get a negative review. You know, your game's not going to be so good. And I suppose this is the same thing. You know, you eventually employ more doggies to so you can have someone focusing on programming, maybe someone focusing on graphics and everything like that, and then you just let this run and see how the doggies get on selling their doggy games. Yeah.
That's actually really cute. That's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's $4, so it's definitely not too much of an ask to check out. And looking, the reviews ever decide to load. Let me see.
It looks so cute.
It's got very low requirements. Again, like if you have a toaster, this has been a good week for you. All of the reviews are in Chinese. Here's one that's in English. Okay, there's some bugs, but they're still recommending it. So that's almost kind of a good sign. It's like, yeah, it's buggy, but I like it more over the bugs.
Okay.
The longest review is 13 or 14 hours, and it's all in Chinese, but they liked it. So, yeah, the game is in English and simplified Chinese. That explains it.
I suppose, you know, if they continue to patch the game or something like that, then you know that's good. So I suppose this would probably go on my wish list. I would keep checking that to see if they do actually, you know, are going to fix bugs, and if they are going to patch it properly, then yeah.
Archie, I was talking about Lost Ark, playing Lost Ark. Are you in Korea? Because you basically have to have like a Korean basically have to have like a Korean a KSN, which is like their social security number, to play it. But yeah, Lost Ark looks really good. Oh, it needs to come west. So I do know some Westerners are like able to play it, but they are basically using someone else's social security number. Right.
He was thinking of something else. Oh, okay.
Oh, you were? Oh, okay. There is one more game, Mini Thief, on our list. So this one again, seems a bit. So a lot of their promo art seems to have been drawn in paint. So it's definitely has that indie look, but the pixel art is on point. This is true 8-bit. Kind of that. This is what the Pokemon Blue kind of level of graphical detail. So I'm very interested in it. It has like this kind of it's a stealth game back before like yeah, it's basically a stealth game. It's a stealth game, but you're being a thief, and it's man, it actually looks really good.
Well, it looks interesting. All these different kind of levels. You know, you have to have your flashlight, or you know, you maybe even in a what's that, a supermarket or like a 7-Eleven or something. It looks different. It looks like challenging, and you know, you got all these different scenarios. It looks cute. Oh, and you're on a train or something.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. That's interesting. So yeah, it looks like they put a lot of work into this
Mm-hmm. It
and a lot of
does.
thought.
A lot of work, and already they have 236 reviews. Is this a known developer? Stranga and Toma are the two creators. Oh, so Stranga's made a ton. Just ignore them. My Big Sister, Thief, Mini Thief, The Story Matters. So they like make a ton of games, and most of them are positively reviewed.
Oh, nice.
And then Toma has made Stranga Bundle. Oh, Arcade Bundle. Oh, okay. So they just they are game making monsters.
Mm.
So yeah, it looks very interesting for people who want that sort of 8-bit retro stealth game. It's got, of course, the modern, closer to modern lighting effects, but you know what? This looks like it might be a gem. It's not particularly long. It looks like it's 3 to 6, 9 hours long.
Well, that's pretty good. How much was it again? Sorry.
It was $3.
Oh well, you know, $3 for 9 hours. I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So it's just, you break into houses, trains, stores, banks, and just like try to escape with the loot.
No, that's such a great concept. Yeah, and I do like that they're mixing it up as well with what you got to do. It doesn't sound like it's too repetitive or anything. Sounds like there's different challenges all the time. So yeah, I like that. I like that. Although it's not my particular style of game. Again, I'm not really stealth. Even in this sort of iteration, it's not really for me. Oh, there's co-op as well.
Yeah, local co-op, yeah. Online multiplayer. Very interesting. You know what? Yeah, it looks pretty interesting. Again, it's a genre I'm not particularly into, but I saw it and I was like, this game looks really lovable. And the developer seems to have a habit of making these really lovable games. So to those of you who have played other Stranga and Tama games, this is, the next big thing that you might want to check out. And for those of you who like stealth games and 8-bit graphics, this looks like your game. So
yeah.
Mini Thief. I'm so tempted to put it on just because it does have that. Put it on my wish list just because it does have that like Pokemon red and blue aesthetic. That's just like, well, Pokemon color, like the first color, like.
Justin says, Rody, this could be your gateway game into the stealth genre. No, those things are just too stressful for me, Justin. I can't deal with.
This definitely does have the stressful elements of stealth games in it, and it's just like, but it does look really nice. It looks really nice, and for those of you who are into stealth games, you may have a great game on your hands right here. So
yeah.
And it's $3. If it sucks, it's $3.
Yeah, that's great. They should have put that in the titles. As if it sucks, it's only $3.
Yep. Yeah, and it again will run on a toaster. So for those of you without gaming PCs, our release list this week is great for you. Because it's something that one plus about Steam not really doing a whole lot of they're not filtering the games that get on here, which does mean, of course, there's going to be a lot of games that are crappy, but at the same time we are seeing a lot of games made by small developers who aren't using the latest technology, and so it often ends up being games that can run on toasters, and that's kind of cool. But it's just filtering through that slog of junk.
Absolutely.
But this week we found some gems, I think. So Mini Thief, even though I'm not interested in getting it, it like restores my faith in in Steam as a platform. Honestly.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, because there's lots of there's lots of games that are being released that got viruses on and things, and that shouldn't even be a thing on Steam. I think Steam seriously needs a massive clear up as well. Desperately needs a clear up.
And so you were thinking of Insomnia the Ark. Yeah, that's on my wish list. I will get it eventually. But I'm currently playing a bunch of other stuff. This is...
Sorry, there's more police going by again. Sorry. Oh, there we go.
Oh, a toaster PC! That's adorable. I love it. Next time I do a build, maybe I'll do like a special like box, a funny box.
Oh, that's so cool.
Pretty funny. I like that. Toaster PC. Let me see. So, yeah, that is our release list this week. Are there any like questions or comments from chat that you have for us? Maybe game recommendations, or you feel that we missed, or let us know if we like if we slighted a game that you love. Send all hate mail. You just PM it to me.
The thing about it says normally people only swat when you're doing a speed run, not for podcasts or new releases. I know.
I'm very glad about that.
Breaking the law. Breaking the law.
Yes.
But yeah, is there anything that you guys have spotted this week that been a great game, or anything you'd like to add to any of the releases that we've seen? Oh, Justin has a question.
What do you do?
What is your question, Justin? Please
I
share
have a
with the
question
class.
for Justin, but it's like, how is he so sexy? But
oh, Justin has questions for our host. So what is your question? Any Spooktober inspired game picks for you two? I mean that one with the sweary game, that's I would recommend that for someone who is doing some spoopy games. Just because it's so weird and out there.
At the risk of sounding very much like I don't play horror games. I've never played a single horror game. I've never watched a single horror movie. I do not do good with scares. Honestly, I'm not good with it. I'm very much chicken when it comes to that. I like surreal games. I do like kind of surreal, or like kind of not spooky, but uncanny. I like sort of those sort of like weird uncanny. I do like suspense as well, but when it comes to actual like horror or spook stuff, I cannot do with it. Yeah, I have never watched a horror movie. Nothing that I would consider in the horror genre. So
I'm in the same vein as Dewey, where I don't like horror. I don't like horror movies at all. And I don't enjoy like the really intense horror games that you get on Steam. The ones that I have are the sort of point and click ones that have that sort of creepy element to them, but they're not going to like give me jump scares. And a lot of the games that we played that I've played for Spooky October have been very much like that sort of creepy, you know that something's not right, and there's like this cool story element to them, but they're not gonna give me a jump scare. And we've actually quite laughed at them. Actually, there's some things that they have this sort of weird macabre humor in it, and which I love. But yeah, there's again that sort of surreal, creepy aspect to it. So yeah, that's what I like.
I do actually like sort of macabre humor, or the cerebral psychological horror stuff. I do like psychological horror, but it's not the visual horror, sort of like slasher films, that kind of stuff. I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out. But
yeah, like when you're being chased, because I really hate those kind of games, because I just have no directions at all. I get lost all the time. So I'm like, oh, I can't remember if I came this way or not. Oh, where am I supposed to hide? Oh no, I'm dead. I would just annoy my audience, I think, playing those kind of games, because I would just like 9 times out of 10 go the wrong way.
Akiho understands me.
Ooh, a girlfriend in past tried to make me into the Hills Have Eyes remake. I lasted 15 minutes. So I'm glad Akio, yeah, I think Akio understands us. It's like, yeah, it's like,
Mhm.
yeah, I've watched Evil Dead and such yet. Nah, I have no fun with scary movies. It's not fun at all. Yeah, yeah, I agree. I'd like what the third sort of Evil Dead movie. Like that was just more comedy. I loved that, really. So
Yeah. Probably the closest thing to horror I've ever seen would be Berserk. The anime is probably the closest thing to horror that I've seen.
mm,
Um, but that's more of an action show with really horrific enemies. But it's not. It
mm,
doesn't put you in the space of horror. Like it's not like
yeah,
jump scare. It's just like, oh my gosh, like
yeah,
you're just like, oh, it's kind of shocking. There's scenes that are kind of shocking, but they're not surprising
yeah.
or
You don't.
like you don't feel unease leading up to it. It's like you know exactly what's happening.
Exactly.
So,
I think we're both people that doesn't like to be like stressed out and scared or anything. We just like, we like to be to thinking kind of maybe something, bit creepy, maybe just slightly disturbing, but nothing that's going to keep me up at night
mhm.
or something like that.
I have an
Yeah.
extremely overactive imagination too. So like
Yeah, me too. Me too. You should have seen me play like Firewatch because I was just like creeped out all the time and
oh,
these
Firewatch
lots going.
creeped me out too. And that's
Yeah,
like not a horror game, but it definitely like creeped me out.
it was yeah, exactly, because it was our own imagination. I was like, oh, something's coming after me, and I'd be checking, moving the camera everywhere, looking behind me every like 2 steps or something, because I didn't want to be surprised. And at the end, it gave you the option of going up to the den where they were staying, and it's like, I'm not going up there. What if they're up there and they murder me or something? So I missed out on that. Oh dear, it's funny.
Oh. So yeah, now so October is basically the worst month for us when it comes to game releases.
Yeah, I've been trying to find like looking through my Steam is trying to find scary games, and it's more creepy black comedy horror, those sort of games. So yeah, I have those. But other
Mhm.
than that, yeah, nothing truly scary.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, no, I do not enjoy being scared at all. So
No, no,
no,
me neither. No,
not pleasant, not pleasant.
no.
Um and yeah, I guess shameless plugging, Roadypie, let them know where they can find you on the big wide internet.
Ah, yes. So I will be on Twitch. I will be playing, well, continuing my playthrough of Franbo. Point and click. Um, well, not scary game, but creepy game. But we've had a good laugh. It's got some macabre humor in it. So yeah, you can find me at Roadypie Twitch and see me get either frustrated or enjoy playing this game. It's like goes from one extreme to the next. So see me Tuesday 9:30 p.m. and UK time, and also Thursday 9:30 p.m. UK time. And what will you be playing?
I've not had chatbot open this entire time, so yep. Cool. Oh, and of course, also, since I didn't see the notification, thank you, Slaughterodic, for the host. I do very much appreciate it.
What will
I
you be playing
see.
this week?
I will
When will you
be.
be on?
Yeah, so I no longer stream 6 days a week anymore. I'm down to 5, and I might be going down to 4, maybe, just due to personal like life reasons. But
Yeah.
so it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Saturday, Sunday is my schedule. 7 p.m. Pacific time and 4 p.m. on the weekends. Although Sundays kind of vary, and I'm like, if do Saturdays actually work better for you, Rody?
Probably not, because I
Oh,
usually
okay.
do things on
All right, we'll
Saturday.
stick to Sunday then. So I was just wondering if like it might be easier for you, because I know I have more free time earlier on Saturdays, but yeah, I know that's different for everyone. Let me see. Yeah, just streaming. You can find me on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, everywhere. Just Dewey Bear. So Google Dewey Bear. Don't go to the third page of Google. Never go to the third page of Google. But yeah, you can find me basically everywhere. I'm Dewey Bear everywhere. Yeah, thank you so much. This has been an awesome podcast. Thank you, Roadypie, for being the sunshine.
Thank you for having me. Bringing the sunshine for sure. Thank you for having me on again. I really enjoy going through these little gems and maybe finding something new. It's fantastic. It's always fun. I love it.
Yep. And then it'll be like a good we're gonna be going like 3 weeks in a row, Dewey and Rody.
Yes, yeah.
And then I'll try again to get a guest host, but we'll see. I would like to get more people in the Twitch community on here to get to know them, talk to them face to face. But you know what? Rody's reliable and an excellent co-host, so I'm very happy. Very happy. And a Halloween is gonna be so perfect. I'm trying to think of what I'm gonna do. I don't know. I might go as a bear, maybe.
Oh my god, that would be so cute.
But it's probably just gonna be like face paint and then barriers or something. But I don't know. I'll try to figure out. It depends on what the thrift store has. So
yeah.
And then I'll probably all Halloween week I'll be in whatever costume I end up getting.
Oh, thank you, Slaughterrotic. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad Justin. I'm glad everyone's been watching us and enjoying it. Yeah, and I hope you'll join us again next week, and join us for a Halloween stream as well. Yeah.
Yay! Okay, and with that, we can go into the post game and.
Oh, thank you for